Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello students, I Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor from School of Computer Science, Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Welcome you all from Chaitanya Studio of Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. In continuation of lecture series Python programming subject, in the previous session we have discussed what is Python. Then after we have also discussed few of the features of Python, how the name that can be derived of that particular Python. We are just revising few of the topics, and in today's session we are going to cover few more features of Python programming. So in previous session we have discussed what is Python. So basically we are just revising that definition, or you can say that the concept of Python programming. So it is nothing but the open source programming language. You can say that it is general purpose, dynamic, garbage collected, high level interpreted language, and it was developed by Guido S. Rassam at 1991, and the name that can be derived from the very popular series, that is Monty Python's Flying Circus. The name of that series, that Rassam has picked up the name Python from this series. Now we have already discussed few of the features, just revising, then after we are moving with some more features of Python programming. So we have discussed in previous session, first of all it is the simple programming language. We have also discussed how it is convenient to code in Python programming by doing comparison of C language programming as well as the Java programming languages. You already aware that C programming that follows the functional approach, or you can say that the procedural approach, and if you want to add some object oriented concept, then you are requiring object oriented programming languages like C++ and Java, right. Now in Python you want some code style of C language, and you are requiring some powerful features of object oriented programming. So you can say that Python is a combination of both the programming concept, that is procedural oriented as well as the object oriented, right. So in previous different programming languages, the code length that is more compared to the Python. Now the Python is simple language. Why it is called simple? Because it is just like a English like language. So whenever anyone codes in the Python, you can easily read like the English language, and normal person can understand whatever the code stands, right. So that's why it is considered as a simple programming language. It is easier to read in terms of that. Then after, easy to learn. So in other comparison with other programming languages, the total number of keywords that are lesser in this Python programming. So you have to combine all those keywords and create a programming or develop a program in Python programming. So it is easier compared to other programming language that we have discussed. Then after, open source, you do not have to pay any money for using that particular Python software, because it is freely available from the website python.org, that is the official website. According to your requirement, according to your Windows platform or Linux, Ubuntu or any other operating system platform, you can download and install in your system. You can create program, you can modify program, you can use that Python to in your project to develop new application to new software. It is totally free. It is not required to pay anything for using that particular Python. That is why it is open source. High level programming languages, as we have discussed, basically two broadly categorized languages, low level and high level, because computer does not understand our programming, or you can say that the high level language, or you can say that the English like language. So it is required to convert high level language into the machine level language, because it understands only zeros and ones. So the language that is available in zeros and one, that is considered as machine level language, or you can say that the low level language. But the language which is not in zeros and one, it is just like English words or reserved words, then they are considered as the high level language. So Python is also high level language. If you want to execute any code in the Python, first of all you have to compile, you have to interpret. That means you have to convert whatever the code written by the user into machine level language, or you can say that the low level language. Then after we have discussed dynamically typed. So as you already aware, in any programming language like C, C++ or Java, you must have to define variable and its type. Otherwise it will generate some kind of error if you are not allocating some specific data type. But here it is not in the case of Python, that's why it is considering as dynamically typed, because whatever the value you are mentioning, basically based on that the type will be decided, right. So here declaration concept is not there. Second thing, all the things that will be considering as the object. So once you are defining any value for that particular object, later on you can also change the value, there is no issue. That's why it is considering as dynamically typed programming language. Then after platform independent, again what is platform independent? So it can be run or it can be installed on any of the platform. It may be Windows, it may be 32-bit, it may be 64-bit, it may be Linux operating system, it may be Unix operating system, or any kind of configuration, or you can say that the any hardware configuration, that particular Python programming, you can say you can install that particular software on any of the machine. That's why it is considering as platform independent. Why? So technically you can say that whenever you are code the Python programming in high level language, you have to convert into bytecode with the help of compiler, right. So bytecode, that is in the form of platform independent. So whenever you are moving that particular bytecode in any of the machine, then it can be easily understood, it can be easily executable by that particular machine. So there is another concept called PVM, Python virtual machine. So that will convert that bytecode into machine level language, or you can say that the low level language, or you can say that the zeros and one format. So ultimately the structure is that you are creating a program in Python, that is your source code. You are compiling by using the Python compiler. Actually this compilation process that can be done in background, it is not directly available, that we will see later on in detail how you can compile, how you can interpret. And another role of PVM, Python virtual machine, in which interpreter can convert that bytecode into the machine code. That's why you can say that it is platform independent, because bytecode that can be executable on any of the machine irrespective of any of the configuration. Then after it is portable, again it follows the feature of independence, or you can say that the platform independent. So whenever you are executing code on any of the machine, the output generated, that is same. So whenever you are generating the output and that output is same on any of the platform, then you can say that it is the portable language. Then after procedural and object oriented, as we have already discussed, the coding style that follows from C language. So it is very easy, or it is very convenient code style that can be available in C language, we can follow in the Python. And second, if you want to apply some powerful features of object oriented like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, all those features, or you can say that you want to implement the real life problems, or you want to solve that real life problem with the concept of object and classes, then you can follow that object oriented concepts. So both the features that you can apply here, and you can do according to whatever your requirement, you can follow this feature. Now few more features that we have to see, that is interpreted. So Python is compiled and interpreted both, because whenever you are creating a Python code, it is the source code you have written in Python programming language with the help of whatever the keywords available in the Python programming. Then after that code, that can be converted, or you can say that that code is compiled by using the Python compiler PYC, right. Then after bytecode will be generated, that is the intermediate code. That bytecode is platform independent. Then after that bytecode, that will be converted into the machine code with the help of interpreter, which resides in PVM, that is Python virtual machine. So this way you can say that the interpreted language, as you already aware that what is the difference between compiler and interpreter, that compiler compiles the whole code at a time, and the interpreter can interpret or convert from high level language to machine level language line by line. So that is the basic difference. In compilation, the timing that is lesser, while in interpreter the time for execution that is more. That we will see later on, the whole process, how the source code is converted into the machine language code. Then after extensible. Now what is the meaning of extensible? Now say for example, if you want to use the code of other programming language, say for example you are having one small code of C programming language or any other programming language, in that case you can combine that code into the Python programming and you can execute the whole code as a Python compiler as well as the using PVM, right. So from different programming languages you can merge that programming language code into the Python, that's why it is considered as extensible. Now according to the different version that may differ, say for example very standard Python software that can be created in C programming, C language. So you can say that the C Python compiler you are using for compiling that particular Python code, so in which you can embed that particular C program into Python. Now suppose you want to embed Java into the Python code, then you have to use Jthon, right. That is the compiler that is available that you can merge your Java code into the Python. Same way suppose .NET that you want to merge, so Iron Python that is also available, that compiler is also available. So according to your different programming languages or different codes you can merge or embed into that particular language, that's why it is considered as extensible code, right. Then after embedded, again the small module of Python that you can embed into other programming language. Say for example you are having some scripting language or you have created some application in which you want to execute your small Python code, that is also possible. So mind well the difference between these two features, extensible and embedded. In extensible feature, other programming language code you can embed, you can merge into the Python, and in embedded the Python code that itself can be merged or embed into other programming language, that's why it is considered as embeddable, right. Then after huge library, as you already aware in C, C++ or Java there are multiple library files are available, or you can say that the modules are available. You can directly import those modules and execute or use that in your code. Same way here Python supports huge number of libraries that is available in the Python software. According to your requirement you can install it and you can use in your project, right. Say for example NumPy, then after Pandas, these are the different libraries you can install according to your requirement. Suppose you are working on data science project, then you can use Pandas. If you want to support some multi-dimension array concept, in that case you are using NumPy, right. If you want to add some graphical chart or any representation, in that case you can use matplotlib, right. So these are the different libraries available in the Python, so you can directly use according to your requirement of the project. Then after scripting language, so you can say that scripting language that doesn't require to compile, it can be directly interpreted, so it boosts up whatever your project. Say for example if you are coding in PHP, so that can be available or that can be boosted up into the HTML input libraries, right. Same way suppose you want to use that Python as some additional feature, in that case you can use this as a scripting language, right. Then after database connectivity, so most of all the databases you already aware, Oracle, Sybase, Microsoft Access, then after SQL, MySQL, all the interfaces that are supported by that particular Python platform. So you can connect any of the database and you can create the application based on that database connectivity. Then after scalable, what is the meaning of scalable? Suppose you are creating the application in Python and you are executing that application in some different environments, right. So that each and every environment having their own feature or advantages, or you can say that the performance of different platforms that may vary. So whenever you are executing the code in Python, so it follows or it cope up whatever the features available of that platform. That's why it is considered as the scalable programming language. And then after batteries included, or you can say that the multiple frozen libraries are available. So suppose you want to create some application and some basic code or some basic feature you want to embed. So for that you are not required to code from the scratch. For that multiple small modules are available. You can directly import those modules and use in your project. So that amount of portion it is not required to code again for you. So reusability feature you can also use in this feature. So these are the basic features of Python that we have discussed. Now execution of a Python program. The execution that is divided into these processes, you can see on your screen the figure, that is Python program, that is the source code, that can the extension is .py. Then after, the bytecode will be generated by using the Python compiler pyc. Then after that bytecode, that will be converted by using interpreter, which is available in Python virtual machine in the machine code. That's why the whole process that is followed whenever you want to execute your Python program, right. Now compilation process, here you can see, suppose you want to compile your code, that is available by using pyc, Python compiler, but suppose you want to create that intermediate file, that is a bytecode. In that case you have to use this module. If you want to use this module, you have to use this m, that is the option, and pycompile, that is the module. If you are using these two options m and pycompile, in that case one intermediate file .pyc extension that will be generated, right, and Python having the provision that will be stored in the pycache directory, right. If you do not want to create this file, so directly you can use the Python command and then after the file name, but suppose intermediate bytecode you want to generate, then you have to follow this step, right. Then after interpreter, that will convert your bytecode into the machine code. Now whatever the compiler file, that is pyc extension file, that you want to convert into machine code, so you are requiring to write directly Python, then after whatever the file name, say for example your file name is first.py, so after compilation it is first.pyc, but here you can see on the screen first.cpython-38.pyc, the name is automatically given based on whatever the version of your Python that you have installed. So name will be automatically taken by this way, the extension is pyc. Then after, suppose you want to find out, you want to see what will be available in the bytecode, so you can use disassembler option. So here you can use m, that is the module, dis, then after the file name with extension .py. So 5 columnar output you can see here, in which you can see line number that is available, offset position that is available, name of the byte instruction is available, instructions argument that is available, and constant or names that is available. So this way you can see the bytecode by using the disassembler. Now we are concluding our session. In today's session, we have discussed few more features of Python. We have discussed the process of execution of Python code, right. Then after we have discussed, suppose you want to generate intermediate file, that is bytecode, in that case how you can generate with the help of pycache, right, and the module, that is m option with available. Then after we have discussed how to interpret, how to see the bytecode using disassembler. Now in next session we will see how to install Python software and how to set the environment variable, and we will execute our first Python code, right. Till then, happy learning, thank you.
स्वाध्यायः